Okay, here we are. Day 3 in a row. Peer support. Welcome. Let's start with the healer's prayer. Let's actually just repeat after me. I am here to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not need to worry about what to say or what to do. Because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes. Knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. I had a really profound morning I'd like to share. I really feel like I'm really new to this practice in A Course in Miracles, and all of this stuff has thrown my whole world upside down, and I have these glimpses of awesomeness. And I've had several of these glimpses of awesomeness in my recovery journey, and just recently have started discovering them through the lens of ACIM. And the bliss that I found this morning was, as I went for my walk, I really feel like I was seeing through the eyes of Christ. I felt like I had discovered the key, the secret to happiness. And all I had to do was see everything for the shit show that it was. The dream that I created as a smokescreen to block love. It was so profound. The walk lasted for about half an hour. And I didn't mean to do it. It just kind of happened to me. I was on my way home and I was just beaming. And I was like, what is going on here? And so I asked the question, what is going on here? And I received an answer. This is you seeing the real world. So it was really peaceful and blissful, but also really funny. Because as I was experiencing this peace and bliss, I was also witnessing all of the fucking shit show that my ego does all the time. Comparing, blaming. There's a lot of blaming. I do a lot of blaming. There's a lot of my mental process is blaming others for how I'm feeling. That's what I've really noticed, that pattern. So even though I was just witnessing that in this blissful, peaceful comedy, because it was definitely funny, because I get all caught up in it. So this morning, this walk was just like, it was like a breath of fresh air. So I just wanted to share that. Wow. I've been on this bucking bronco for like 2 months now. So finally, this was like a breakthrough. It felt like a breakthrough. And it didn't last long, about half an hour. And then I just go back, and we just go back into it.
So you experienced a contrast.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I was very much the witness of it, not the experiencer of the dream, the witnesser of the
Mm,
dream, not the dreamer of the dream, but that witness. It's really profound.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think part of it is that you've set your intentions?
I think all of it is that I've set my intention. And
Mm,
that's my old story. I before A Course in Miracles, like this has flipped me upside down, right? We talked about this yesterday, as it does to most people. And so before A Course in Miracles, I was a manifester. I manifested things. I was a powerful manifester. And then I became like a powerful prophet where I could tell you what was happening before it happened. And then now I find out that the script is written,
mm,
already been written. It was already written. So I don't know what the fuck. I don't know.
mhm.
It's bizarre.
It's
I
really
want to
bizarre.
I want to read something that Keith Kavanaugh put up. It was somebody made a meme and it was so it's so relevant to this right now. Let me see if I can find it really quickly without
Yeah.
being weird
Take your
about it.
time.
There, the script is written. There's nothing actually happening here. It's just a projection of what's happening in the mind. If you identify as a separate self, the ego's pre-written script will play. You're not deciding or doing anything here. If you identify as awareness, the Holy Spirit's pre-written script will play. You're
Mm,
not deciding or doing anything here. Your only decision is whether you identify as a separate self or awareness. A projection of a pre-written script will play either way. You're not in the projection, no matter how much you think you are.
mm. Wow.
Yeah. So I went from being a hopeless victim
Mhm,
to being the
mhm,
creator of my reality, to being a
mhm,
powerful manifester, to being a
mhm,
powerful prophet.
mhm.
And now I find out that the script was already written.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a bit of a
The
mind.
script is written is such a new thought concept. I still can't quite wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
And we were just saying last night, there's nothing to do. Well, to make a choice to be the observer. Mm, wow. I'm glad you had that experience. Thank you for sharing that. Um it's one thing to intellectualize or to read it in a book or to hear it in a video, and it's a completely other experience to actually have that. Your experience walking this morning.
Nothing beats an experience, a personal experience.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yes. I I had the opportunity today to watch your lighthouse video.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you know, I have all this stuff. Your story so resonates on such a deep level. I mean, physical symptoms, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, it's really, so like I'm coming now to this conversation and I'm, I haven't quite processed all of that. And that's such a gift that you've given to be so vulnerable. It's just an incredibly powerful gift. And your story, I can feel that it's something that there's so many layers to it that it's just going to take a lot of time to process that. So I just want to thank you for sharing, and thank you for putting yourself out there like that, because you are giving people permission. So thank you for that. So yeah. And I watched the Keith Kavanaugh, the Miracle Principles. So that was really cool. So much good stuff. I mean, like I've got like 4 pages. I had a page of notes in the first 7 minutes.
Yep.
I'm like, whoo. So yeah, today's just been, whoo, wow. Yeah. And the video that I watched of you, I believe was 10 months ago, right? The um, transformational video, the lighthouse video.
Oh, yeah, it was about a year ago.
Yeah. So that was pre-course.
Yes, that was when
Mm-hmm.
I was not identifying as a Course in Miracles student. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I would, and yeah, then I was actually still fully immersed with Master Sha.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
then
could tell. Yeah.
when Kenneth and I did that transformational talk about 5 months ago, that was post Master Sha, but still pre A Course in Miracles.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. What a journey.
It's been,
I
yeah,
mean,
what a
you
journey.
talk about you talked about the spiral down, the spiral up, and now how would you describe it? Because now you're a Course in Miracles student.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Marcy. Um, I really just see it all as me now. I'm waking up. First, I
Mm-hmm.
spiraled down, and then I spiraled up, and it was all so that I could wake up from this crazy dream that I created as a smokescreen.
Mm,
It's
okay.
really so profound. When I started with Master Sha in 2014, I was an atheist. I
Mm-hmm.
was raised as an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
And then I developed this really big and strong and vast spiritual understanding and very strong belief system, but very narrow and very dogmatic through Master Sha. And then a year before I left, I started branching out and learning from different traditions. And that was when I learned that they're all talking the same thing, they're just using different language. Like I did a couple of retreats with a Tantra yogi master. And it was all the same stuff that Master Sha was teaching,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
except she was a woman and she was teaching from the feminine perspective of the
Oh,
teachings. And so that was when I was really starting to understand not only the energetic implications of that, but like the Tao teaches about yin and yang. It's dualistic and it's opposite in a lot of ways. It's the opposite side of the coin. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same coin, but it's the
Mm-hmm.
opposite side. So
Yes.
she didn't teach me anything I didn't already know, but she shared all of this information in just a totally different way that helped me to
Mm,
understand it from a much more holistic version. So
really?
now I have this huge understanding of all of these different spiritual traditions and practices and all of the power in that. And then A Course in Miracles comes in, and I find out it's all just part of the dream that I created.
Created the good, created the bad, and now you're
Yeah,
just looking at it.
yeah, yeah. And it's just totally insane. And do I fully believe that? I don't know.
Mm.
But it's my working theory right now. It's the new lens that I'm looking through the world in. And it's really making a lot of sense of my journey. It has been an epic journey that I'm really just starting to unpack this summer in year 13 as A Course in Miracles comes in. Totally insane, Marcy. Totally insane. Totally insane.
I love it. I
And that video, that the lighthouse testimonial,
mm,
I haven't been able to rewatch that.
yeah, it's really,
It's
really,
hard to listen to.
it's very, yeah, I apologize if I'm kind of, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
really,
it's intense. And I can't, like, that's just such a small snippet of my
yeah,
journey.
oh, I know. I could feel it. I know.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just you have to just keep skipping a whole bunch of parts and skipping a whole bunch of parts and
Well, the way I view it when you just said that was what you gave us in that video was the spiral bounding to the book. So we haven't looked at the book yet. We just saw the bounding. I mean, do you know what I mean? It's like I can feel the depth of it. I really can. So, yeah, it's very impactful, very impactful. And I'm really grateful that you did your messy part one and part two videos because right before this call, I was able to access those and they were short. So I had time to, you know, and that was really helpful. That was very helpful. I mean, you talked about the cleansing shower, and you know what? That's a really simple thing. We all take a shower. I mean, it's just part of being a human. And for me, what I've noticed since uh, going down off my medications and um, physically my body is, reacting. I did notice that when I do take a shower, that it is actually a very powerful experience. And the information that you gave about opening up your crown chakra when you're in the shower and all that, that's just going to add depth to that. And to a lot of people, I'm sure they're like, what is this crazy woman talking about taking a shower? Like, really? Oh my God. Okay. You know, but when you're on healing journey and you are removing blocks and the things that you relied upon before previously, for myself, I'll speak of myself, my medications and my structure and all of this, when that's stripped away, very simple things in life become very powerful and very meaningful and very transformative. It's just the opportunity to actually be in the experience. At least that's kind of where I'm at.
yeah.
Whereas before, I wasn't in the experience. I go quick, take my shower, 5 minutes, gotta get it, you know. And now it's like, okay, yeah, it's where I'm putting my um, where I'm putting my intentions and what I'm allowing. So thank you for that. It's very helpful, very inspiring. I mean, Jody, I I can't imagine anyone watching the video that has not spiraled down further than you spiraled. And I don't want to dwell on that, but I'm just saying that if you have lived through that, first of all, just actually you still have a pulse, okay? I mean, really, it's incredible. And then not only that, but look at you, you know, you got your happy Halloween sweatshirt on, your orange. I mean, it's really a gift. It really is. So thank you. I have so many notes. It's just incredible.
Thank you, Marcy. It's really
So
hard for me to accept positive affirmations about myself.
I
And
hear you.
and it's really um it's actually even really hard for me to feel good about my accomplishments. And one of the reasons I've been so vocal on Facebook lately about sharing my memories that keep coming up
Mhm.
is because I haven't been vocal and I haven't been sharing, and I'm really scared to. And it's so, my story has so much power in it, but it only has the power if I can get it to the people who need to hear it, right? Or if not, I'm not doing it, but you know what I mean? Like, the power
Yes.
is in that when somebody who needs to hear that gets to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I've been, yeah, it, I need to get it out there and I need to start feeling good about it, because this hiccup that I'm in right now, this year 13 craziness, is really just a leg in the journey.
Yeah. I feel, yeah.
So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, thank you. It is my, uh, it is definitely part of my purpose, but I feel that strong purpose to, like, that's part of my why to share.
Mhm.
It's because it is inspiring.
It's very inspiring.
It's shocking. I still, like I said it today on one, somebody made a comment on one of the memories I shared, and I live in shock and awe every day at how far I've come.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
still have such a hard time feeling good about that. Like, it's so weird. It, like, yeah, it's so bizarre that I have such a hard time feeling good about the, and I can even admit it's it's something that most people wouldn't have been able to do. Like, it's just shocking that a person can live through that, let alone transform and do what I've done and turn it around the way I've turned it around. And I
Yes.
still have such a hard time feeling good about that. It's so bizarre. I feel
It's
a lot
really
of
bizarre.
shame around it, actually. I want to, like, I don't want to share. I want to hide. I don't want people to know how much pain I not only used to carry, but that I still carry. It's weird. I have this weird shame. Like, I have a lot of shame around it.
I
Yeah.
I can totally understand that. Something that you said, I can't remember which one of the videos I watched today, but you talked about how as a child you were punished for having feelings. And I can totally relate to that. Stop being so happy. Stop being sad. Stop. I mean, like, unless you were this exact, even keel, robot, there was something wrong with you. Feelings were shameful.
Needs
Feelings,
were shameful.
needs were, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
if you needed anything or disrupted the peace in any way or
you. Hmm.
uh,
And then where
it's
do you go with that?
well, that would depend on what tradition you ask.
Mm,
I've been working a lot with this anger that I carry towards my mom
mm,
and pulling back the projection of that. I'm upset with my mom because she's mean. She's still quite abusive.
mm.
And I get really upset with her about being mean. And so I ask myself, I tried to pull back the projection and ask myself, like, where am I being mean towards others? And
Okay.
I didn't get very far with that because I don't feel like I am mean towards others. But guess who I am really mean towards? I'm vicious to myself still. It's really shocking for me to admit the amount of self-harm thoughts that I have hourly, let alone daily. So where am I being mean to myself? Well, I was punished for having feelings, emotions, and needs when I was a child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So guess what? I
Oh.
punish myself for having feelings,
Mm.
emotions, and needs. Sometimes I do it in really subtle ways, but other times it's blatantly obvious.
Mine are usually really obvious. Yeah, usually. Usually I can just go, but it's still on the level of I'm watching it. Like I'm not stopping it. So, you know, oh, why am I doing that? Why am I, that's hurtful to me. Why am I? So I can, I'm glad you did the extra breaths at the beginning because I really needed that. So thank you. I think that you felt that or sensed it, but yeah, thank you. That was, and I'm trying to put my energy on my heart and I can't feel my heart. So I'm not going to stop. I'll continue, but I just want to be real clear that I'm not, I'm not there yet.
It took me a couple of years to open my heart with
Mm,
dedicated practice. Yeah,
mm,
dedicated practice. Because we close our hearts as protection,
okay,
right? Like
that makes sense.
we close our hearts for protection. Now,
Hmm.
if you were to work with me one on one, which I would be happy to do with you outside of this, little Miss Problem Solver over here, um, I would I would guide you to open your heart in similar ways that Master Sha does, because there's a
Mm,
lot of power in those practices. But
mm.
we would start first with making you feel safe to do so.
Making you feel safe. What was the last part of
Making
that?
you feel safe to open your heart.
Mm,
Because until you address the parts of you that are protecting your heart, it's a push pull,
mm,
push pull, push pull, push pull. The heart will open, it snaps shut again. The heart will open, it snaps shut again. The heart will
mm.
open, snap shut again. I did that for a couple of years before it finally opened and stayed open and stayed open, stayed open.
Wow.
Yeah. Because, yeah, Master Sha is missing a lot of aspects, I would say.
It's you're modifying those. It sounds to me like you're taking all of these tools that you learned and you're kind of modifying them now because you're bringing them more into alignment with the path that you're on right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
which is ACIM. So, yeah, that's really encouraging that you can bring in these. They say nothing's ever wasted. So you don't have to look back and go, I spent 8 years with this Tao Grandmaster. I did all this work. And now it's not wasted, you know. Um, I would imagine there's probably a lot of people that are not connected to their hearts.
Most of our society. Yeah.
So it's not a new, you know, it's something that we all experience, but I couldn't feel it before. Not consciously, I wasn't aware of it.
Hmm.
So, something I want to say, this is a little bit off the, but could you do me the favor and keep our meeting on the time that's respectful to your schedule? Where I'm currently living, it's really a blessing. There are no clocks anywhere, none.
Wow.
Okay. So that's a gift for me. And the first week I was here, I kept looking at the clock. And we joke now. So now I call clocks stoves because usually a stove will show you what time it is, or a microwave, or it has a little, digital time. So I kept looking at her stove trying to see what time it was because I'm used to my old house, the time, and I kept going, I'm checking what time is it? I'm looking at the stove. Okay. So it's just kind of a joke. But so I've just accepted that for me right now, time isn't that. I realized our meeting went way long, yes, last night. And I want to stay respectful to you and to, you know what I mean? So, anyways, that's kind of a side note, but I just want to let you know that I'm aware that.
Well, I don't think our meeting went way long last night. It was less than the first meeting, went an hour and 26 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what last night went, but it's totally fine. I
Okay.
um I want to keep this open for what we need. And I also
Mhm.
want to mention for remind us, but anybody who's watching, I noticed the first video got 7 views. Um, so people in our group, only our group has access to this link so far, so they're watching. Um, and I was going to say something. Oh yeah, I'm happy to keep it open for up to 2 hours. I thought would be,
Okay.
would be okay. But if we need to, we can, like, if we have something pressing
Mhm.
that we don't want publicized, then we could turn the recording off and then
Okay.
have a more private conversation. And I want to say that here while it is being recorded, in case any of the people who are not showing up live because they're afraid that if they share, it will be recorded,
Mhm.
happy to have the recording off
Okay.
for
Yeah.
any part of the meeting so that
Oh,
people who are worried about it have a more private space. And I'm going to update the description of this group on the YouTube gives me the option to update, give a description for the group. So I just
mhm.
want to lay that out there um, for people to understand.
Yes. And if um, like I was asking you a question last night that wasn't really something that was needed to be shared publicly. I purposely ignore the fact that these meetings are recorded. I try to purposely skim over that. Um, so if I do ask you something, it is just organic. And if it's not something that's appropriate, just, like you did last night and said, So, I mean, for me, in my journey, before I came to the psychiatric sobriety group, I was so ashamed and so privatized and so in my shell that um, just showing my face, just having a conversation about something as personal and um, vulnerable as having a mental health diagnosis and going through that journey. Um, for me, that was really groundbreaking to be able to just really get to the point where I'm like, you know what really made me go on the group is one night I was standing in my kitchen and I had been listening to the archives and whatnot. And um, I had so much fear and shame about going on in person. And a realization just kind of came over me and it just said, it's just you. It's just you. There's only one. There's only the one. So in the world, you know, we see the split and we feel the split. And when I come into these groups, I am here to try to open up and to join with you on a level that is not thinking about, I have this diagnosis, or I should be ashamed, or what are people going to think about me, or what do I look like, or what is my back. I mean, really? No, no, that's not important. It's really not. And it's not meaningful. And I'm certainly in no position to judge anyone. I mean, isn't that the message of the course? You know? So I just felt like sharing that. Thank you. You know, something that was in the Miracle Principles 18, 19, and 20 um, that kind of really hit me was when Keith Kavanaugh said, you don't have to change the insane voice talking to itself in your mind, okay? Because it's never going to accept the truth. So it's never going to be okay. Okay. It's never going to be content or happy or peaceful or relax. I mean, you know what I mean? And I've spent my whole life trying to change that voice. And what he said is, you have to learn not to believe your thoughts because the ego is not you. So I've been trying to change a thought system. One of our psychiatric sobriety group meetings, I was talking about um, feeling like now I have a fire extinguisher and I'm putting the flames out at the base instead of sitting there wasting all my fire pressure or whatever trying to put the flames out. Like I'm identifying. So for me, just identifying where to look is new. Like, whoa, holy fucking really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. You don't try to fix your guilt. Mm. Um, you said that you have a really hard time getting praise and compliments and feeling like your story is one of strength and encouragement, but I'm telling you that it is. And I understand that resistance when we don't get those messages, and it does sound really foreign, but you're providing a service.
I still think it all happened for a reason. Like before this whole the script's already written bullshit, I really thought that my pain had purpose to it. Like I'm a transformation artist and I've turned all of this around to prove to others that it's possible and we can give purpose to our pain and it's all happening for a reason and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But you know
That doesn't
what?
that
Having
yeah.
said that, though, it's the I really think the power in it now is that I woke up from the nightmare. Like that's the power. Like this is the
Mm,
nightmare. This is the nightmare that, and you can wake up from it.
mm,
And that, the lighthouse testimonial said, I don't care how far down you get. It doesn't matter how far down your spiral takes you. It doesn't matter how far or how long you've been there. And I still feel very passionate about that. It doesn't matter how far down you go or how long you've been there. You can turn
yes.
the whole fucking shit around. And I
Yeah.
know that, and I speak with conviction because I did it.
Hmm. Yes. Well, our world tells us, you know, we learn that everything has degrees and opposites, and we look at certain people's life circumstances, and oh, they're a lost cause. Oh, he's been schizophrenic for 30 years, and or whatever it is. It's like, who draws that line? Spirit doesn't draw a line and say you're a lost cause. That's not spirit, you know? So yeah, actually, at least from what I heard from your story, is that the impression that I felt was the heaviness and the despair that you experienced was completely black. And there wasn't even like one twinkling star of light for you. And you were able to um, emerge. I mean, you're still emerging, but where you were, there was no light. I didn't see any light in your story in the spiral downward. When you know, very intense. And I think that's really helpful because I think that we do judge and compare. And I think that there may be some people resistant to hearing a hopeful message and to hear how deeply you were in darkness is such a powerful testimony. Testimony is such a weird word. I don't even know if I like it, but anyway, I grew up in like a religious, you know, and like I think once a month we'd have a testimony meeting at our church, and everybody stand up and say how great the church was and how their life was so fucking perfect, and blah blah. So when I hear the word testimony, I think bullshit, bullshit meter goes up. But no, but I mean, just such a transformational, hopeful, powerful message. There's a path. I mean, there's literally a path out. There is one. There is. It is there.
There's several. There's several roads out of hell. Um, yeah, there's several.
You
I'm
probably know
writing a
all, right?
I'm writing a course, writing a couple of courses, and I'm going to highlight that like all roads lead to Rome.
Mm,
All of them lead to Rome. There's several roads out of hell. There are several ways to wake up.
mm,
And I love how like the Course in Miracles, it's an individualized curriculum.
mhm,
Your wake up journey is an individualized curriculum.
mhm, mhm,
I
mhm,
had to go through all of that to get to where I am now. And I still, like, I had another breaking point 2 days ago where I hit rock bottom again. And there's gems down there, and there's a springboard. And so I have this pattern of going all the way down to the bottom to pick up a few gems, and then I springboard myself back up. And that's how I started these meetings. Like I
mhm.
had just had a breaking point where I was like, fuck, I need more help.
Yeah,
ah!
yeah. So you created it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Something that we talked about last night was I was joking and not joking about feeling like kicking my dog, and we were kind of talking about how the ego thought system is. And something that Keith Kavanaugh said in the video that you recommended was the guilt in your mind is reflected in the world, and it feels like fear and murderous rage. And I thought, what a choice of words. Who in the hell wants to say, I feel murderous rage, right? I mean, really? I mean, I grew up, I was taught to be nice. You're supposed to be nice to everyone. And so if we have an ego thought system and we're all plugged into it and we're all having these feelings, then everyone feels that. And then we're walking around acting like it's okay, that it's not happening. So the welcoming of it is very foreign, very, very frightening for me, scary, just terrified. Yeah. But I thought, just thought, if this is what's going on, we need to talk about it. You know, we need to. So if I need to come and say that I'm experiencing these icky, dark feelings and they're coming up, and I'm able to just witness them and not identify with them, then I'm not that flawed, horrible person that's going to end up in a mental institution or in prison for acting out on these feelings. It's the unconscious guilt coming up and my ego, you know, the world saying, you're not supposed to feel like that. Well, first of all, I was raised, you're not supposed to feel, period. Well, unless it's like spiritual or happy or, you know, these are the acceptable feelings. So for me, it's double reinforced. It's reinforced by the world and it was reinforced by my childhood. And it kind of sounds like you experienced that also.
Even just like the thought of fully welcoming these feelings, like the intensity, allowing the intensity. This is like I'm a control freak. I have control issues. I'm always trying to control my reaction because I get extreme. And yeah, it's terrifying. Because my ego keeps going into the past stories about what happened last time I lost control of myself.
Oh boy.
And so
Mm-hmm.
this is like we just keep remembering there's no cause in the world. It's not, it just does this mantra comes back in like, oh, right, okay, so this is my unconscious guilt coming up.
Yeah.
Take a breath. I have a Keith Kavanaugh voice in my head saying, can you welcome the crazy, Nancy? One of the videos that he did with this lady, I don't even remember if her name was really Nancy or not, or if that's just a voice that I've made up in my head now. But when my crazy comes up, I hear Keith Kavanaugh, can you welcome? Oh no, it was Linda. Can you welcome the crazy Linda? And I just ask Linda, I'm like, Linda, can you welcome the crazy?
Welcome
Well,
it.
it's really hard right now. Yeah, I totally get it, but can we welcome this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, it's really hard. I totally understand that. Can we welcome that? No, it's really hard.
Mm.
Can we welcome that? No, it's really hard. Yeah, can we welcome that?
Okay.
Can we welcome the resistance to this?
Working on that.
Yeah, just keep, okay, fine. Can you welcome that? Okay, well,
Mm.
can you welcome that?
You know, that is the perfect answer to the ego thought system. Because what I've noticed is that a calm, consistent, precise instruction, because the ego will flail and, like you said, you just, can you welcome that? Can you welcome the resistance to that? Can you welcome not wanting to welcome that? Can you just have to, it's like a catharticism or something. I don't know what word for it. It's just like, you're
Unpacking
just like
or undoing, unwinding, unpacking, and
unwinding.
blossoming at the same time. Because each time you welcome, you're becoming more who you really are.
Yeah.
As Keith Kavanaugh says, that who you become, that which welcomes.
Mm. Oh, now there's something to really think about. Can you become that which really welcomes? Mm. Can I become that which really can I? Well, of course I can. Will I? Well, I'm showing my willingness because I'm here. And I really don't want to be here. No offense to you, but you know, my ego really is I mean, every night, are you fucking, I mean, really? This is intense.
I know.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm giving my ego, the ego system, you know, I'm like kind of giving it the middle finger by doing this, and it's not happy. Mm-mm. So, can I welcome that?
Mm.
So conditioned to live my life avoiding things that I'm fearful of. You had mentioned in something you said, you were scared to go driving at night. You were scared of, yeah, I'm scared to go to the grocery store. I'm, you know, fear. I've, it's like, I'm afraid of that, so I'm going to avoid it. And so it's just so different to go, oh, I'm afraid of that. This feels like shit. Oh, hell yeah. Come on, baby. Let's, mm,
Bring it
be a big
on.
deal. Oh, yeah. Give me that juicy shit, you know? Wow. Juicy shit's really ugly too. It's fucking, it's like really, wow. But you know what? I am willing to be as transparent as I can and to say, this is really uncomfortable and really scary. And I'm just going to keep showing up. I'm just going to keep, you know, I'm saying to me, by just by being here and by doing what I'm doing, I feel like I'm saying yes to Holy Spirit. I'm saying, this is a gift that I'm given. I'm going to allow it and I'm going to accept it. And it might be extremely uncomfortable, but I'm going to welcome it, you know? And it's not like a happy, fun process, you know?
There's not a lot of sunshine and rainbows going on.
No, pouring down rain, sleet, hail, freezing cold.
And it's a celebration.
Mm, yeah, yes.
That was one of the notes I took from the Calico. Embrace the crash and burn. Flip
Mm,
crash and burn. This is a celebration, even though it doesn't feel like it.
mm, okay.
Because it's the
Oh,
ego that's crashing and burning.
mm-hmm.
And that's why it's a celebration.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think a switch for me was when I, maybe just by going on the other Zoom meeting call, what I'm confirming to myself is that the darkness and the ugliness, what I label as ugly and dark, is just guilt, and it's there, and it's there to get cleared up and released. It doesn't mean that Marcy's a bad person, or that, you know what I mean. I thought that because I had these feelings, and in my perception, I was the only one that had these dark feelings. Unless you're on the evening news and you just killed 10 people, I'd be like, oh, okay, there's somebody like me. Okay. But they just actually did it, or got caught. I don't know. But I thought that it
Hi.
equated that
Is it
it
okay?
was
Yep.
me.
I'll be right there.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I
I'm
thought
being.
I thought it meant it was me. I was flawed. I was, so what do you do with that? For me, I hid, you know, I didn't want to open up because I thought all this dark, ugly shit's going to come out and everybody's going to see what a mess I am. And then I don't know what's going to happen. And now I'm like, oh, okay, this is an opportunity for me, like, to actually get happy when I notice something uncomfortable, that I'm like, oh, okay, let's look at that. So, it,
That's the celebration. That it's
mm,
all coming up. It's all happening for us. And it's
celebration.
happening so that we can unwind it, so that we can wake up.
Mm,
And I just got
wow.
called for dinner.
That's what that was. I felt
That's
like
what
you
that
got
was.
called away. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's what that
I was going
was.
to ask you, and it's really, and something that you did talk about too, just really briefly, was taking care of our bodies and our nutrition, and that, we are in a physical world. And so I'm glad that you're doing that. I'm glad that you're, taking time for yourself. And that's important. And we are right at dinner hour. So,
Yeah. I got invited out tonight, so I said, yes, I'll come, but I have the support
yay.
group that I have to be at, so we're just doing it there.
You go have a beautiful dinner. Enjoy your
Thank you for showing
company.
up, Marcy.
Thank you for
I'm so
providing the
grateful for you.
space. I'm grateful for you too. You have a
Beautiful.
good dinner. Thank you
Thank
so much.
I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
I'll be here for the celebration.
More celebrating. Have a good night.
Woo! Have a good night.
Bye.